All right, so I just wanted to give a quick update on I wrote a couple notes on the upper cervical care that I've been going to the past, I guess it's been 3 weeks, so about 6 visits. It's funny, she just jumped up here because I guess when I was playing with the sound, it made a weird noise and she started bugging out. But it's funny, I'll have her in here and I won't edit this. But the past week, I didn't even get an adjustment. I was holding it, so there was no interference to my brainstem, um, which is your autonomic nervous system. Like I said before, it's your breathing, your digestion, um, and your heart rate, stuff like that. Um, So I barely even stretch anymore, and I used to have to stretch every day, or I was very tight and in pain, and that's been going on for years. I mean, at least 7 years. If I didn't stretch regularly, I suffered for it. But now I haven't even been stretching. Maybe a little bit here and there. Like it's been maybe once a week, if that. And I'm not stretching my neck because they don't want me to do any lateral movements right now because it might knock it out of the line. And I've had good habits with my posture for being in pain for years, so I pick up quick on holding that adjustment, even with the chronic issues that I have in my neck. Um, and the other thing is when I'm eating the raw foods and I'm not eating protein or fats or grains and oats and breads and flours and stuff like that, your body can actually start to heal itself and get rid of all the garbage and mucus and acids that are in there. So, like now, my bowels are moving great. I did add some herbs. I'm taking herbs, and I have a routine with that. I increase and I decrease the frequency I take them and the amounts depending on how I feel. And again, I don't have it down to an exact science or measurement. I just go with how I feel, and that seems to be beneficial. I can kind of tell like if I'm starting to get anxiety or like I'm breathing shallow. Again, I might decrease a little bit and then eat more vegetables and cut back on some of the fruits. Um, and maybe only do the lemon juice in the morning and not at night as well. So little things like that I'm playing with, and I've been researching and experimenting on my body for years. And I started with, even just researching on the supplements and stuff, and looking in every corner. So I do have a lot of knowledge on supplements, and if anybody has any that they're thinking of taking or are taking, if you want my opinion on it, I can sort through the garbage pretty fast. So even if it's something I haven't researched myself, um, I can sort through some of the confusion because it's really overwhelming and you want to give up. But if you persevere, I've done a lot of the research already, so um, I'll give you my opinion on that and maybe find you something that's better than what you're taking and be more beneficial. But that's not what this. I could do a bunch of videos with this. I don't really want to get into the herbs that I'm taking and why I'm taking them, and the dosages. But if people want to know, I will gladly share that information with you because it's very beneficial. But again, if you're just taking herbs and you're not changing your diet, you're not going to have much effect. I mean, it's better than not doing it, but the healing process, you really need to work on everything. So not just diet, mindset, a bunch of stuff. So yeah, my bowels have been moving great now. So every meal, if I eat a meal or I eat a bunch of fruit, that's my meal. A few hours later, I have a movement. Later, I have a big salad. I have a movement now before bed. And I've noticed that I barely have to even wipe. Like I could just like squat if I'm out in the woods and whatever because I wipe and there's really nothing even there. Um, So before, when I'm eating all that other stuff, I have to wipe like a few times. And I also noticed that the stools, they have more, I can see like the shape of my intestines on them. So that tells me that I'm not holding any residue or anything back because I'm eating all high fiber and things that are very assimilable, especially in the combinations that I do it in. If you want to know more about food combining, I'll give you a chart. I'll look up a chart that I agree with most. Not that you really care about my opinion that much, but if there's somebody out there that does, I will gladly help you with that. Because again, I've been down all the holes, and I can save you a lot of time and help you progress a little faster through what I've experimented and experienced. So, yeah, I mean, there has been, even without taking the aggressive, like psyllium husk and the charcoal and clay, I have mucus in my stools just from citrus fruits. Like if I'm eating only, I wake up, I do a lemonade, it's pretty strong. I do a whole lemon. Then I eat maybe fast. I take my herbs, and then I will eat citrus fruits, like a couple grapefruits, and then maybe a bunch of mandarins, and then I'll see mucus, just little bits, not like loads of it that's been there for years from McDonald's and all the other crap. But the swelling I've had when I first started again with the raw foods, I had some like in the roof of my mouth, more on the right side, like pretty far back. It felt like a stone, and it was painful. But that whole side of my mouth was swollen, and I could feel like a lot more out than the left side. So, and I've noticed that at night I'll have like fluid pockets on my right side more than when they form on the left. So now that my central nervous system isn't obstructed, my atlas bone's straight, and I've been on an alkaline and mucusless diet, I'm starting to really drain all that congestion in my head. And my mental clarity, my creativity, and my self-awareness has just been exploding. So I'm really happy about that. And I can give some examples, but I don't want this to be too long because nobody watches this stuff to the end anyway. So, yeah, I can tell that acid crystal or whatever was really, it's still there, but it's a lot smaller. And now, like, I can feel that it's draining out and it's dissolving. So I'm really getting rid of the acids and the congestion even from my ears and other things. So, that's another thing I'm happy about. It's going to take a lot longer to really get that fully dissolved and drained. So, also, I wake up in the middle of the night and I can, like 2 a.m., maybe a little earlier, and I can feel my mouth is kind of burning. So I just get up and I have a natural toothpaste. I like Uncle Harry's products. I've used a ton of different ones, but it's really strong, so I wouldn't start with this, but it leaves you feeling really clean. And this is a tooth powder, but I just take a little pinch, and my saliva immediately comes out, and it's very alkaline. And again, it has the clay and essential oils, and like a Celtic sea salt that'll help alkalize the mouth and draw some of those acids out of the lymph that's draining. Well, medical doctors, they call it the glymphatic system, which the tonsils are a part of actually, and they say it's a vestigial organ. And real quick, I'll just mention the other vestigial organ, the appendix, which is actually there to help neutralize toxins as they come from the small bowel to the lower bowel. And when we are eating the standard American diet, that thing gets overworked, it gets inflamed, and of course, when you're full of congestion, what's going to be there? You're going to find bacteria, infection, and all the other stuff feeding on that. So if your ecology's right and you have a better diet, and you're not leaving all that the toxins back, the residue from garbage food, you know, you can actually heal that. But they just take it out, and then, you know, might feel better for a while, but in the long run, if you don't change your habits, you're going to have even more issues. So I really don't need glasses. My eyesight's actually been better than ever. That's for the blue light, but it's still kind of early here. It's like 5. So what else did I say? So yeah, I mean, there's probably 75% less hair in my brush. I haven't changed the way I brush. I brush in the morning and before I go to bed, and that's something I'm happy about. You know, it's probably even more than 75%, but it's like it's only been a month really that I've been very disciplined. So I can't really tell that. And also, like, there was times when I first started that that I would have, I wouldn't even be working out or doing nothing, and my pits really had some really offensive body odor, but now that's kind of gone away, and I'm sure when I dig deeper, there'll be periods where that returns. So yeah, I don't feel the need to like brush my teeth as much or floss, and I get less in my floss. My mouth just generally feels cleaner. My breath is clean. I don't, you know, when I was eating more like protein and eating out, even when it was like healthy, eating out at different places that people think is healthy, like and eating grains that people think are good for you and stuff like that, and oats, like I could, you know, I had a lot more plaque. That's where I'm going. So, you know, when I was eating more eggs and stuff like that, and beans and proteins. My self-awareness, like I mentioned before, is just going skyrocketing. I'm really more aware of my energy and how things in my environment affect it. For example, like if I'm walking by like some hobo who's like really angry and insane, like I used to like just walk by. Now I'll go out of my way to walk away from them and back because there would be something lingering with me for a while. And I didn't like that, so now I kind of avoid that, and it doesn't affect me. Like I still see them, but if I keep distance, it's not affecting me. And then another guy in line, I'm not going to tell the whole story. He was just anxious, and he jumped in front of me, and then ended up his thing was cash only, with card only, and I just told him to calm down. And then today, like, I had my phone in my hand as I'm driving, which is bad, I know. But all of a sudden, like, I just felt like this, like, really pins and needle. And it's my good hand. My left hand's the one that's injured. And it was kind of painful. And I, like, dropped my phone down, and then I look up, and there's, like, antenna right there. So, you know, I kind of was like, that's kind of funny, you know what I mean? And then today I'm driving again, and I had my phone up on the dash looking at the GPS, and I had barely a signal because I'm heading out more towards Joshua Tree from a more populated area, and it was dead. And I look up in the distance and I see a tower, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on that signal on my phone, and then see the approximate distance I was before when I felt that in my hand, and at pretty much the exact same distance, the signal went from like nothing to full at that same distance from the antenna. So, I mean, I don't fully believe in coincidence, and I know my intuition and my self-awareness is right. And even the upper cervical doctor that I'm seeing knows I'm on point with it. So I just hope this helps somebody. It's just my experience. So yeah, I mean, if somebody watched it to the end, I appreciate that. Take care.